Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Real Life with Ty. This is episode 17, More to Life. This was actually requested by one of my followers, talking about how sometimes as women we have to be basically somebody's girlfriend or somebody's wife or in a relationship to actually be validated in a sense. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that. Let's get started.
You've got Ty on the line on her podcast. So what's on her mind? And for you now, you are listening to Ty on the line.
I have totally forgotten that your girl is a whole social worker out here, y'all. So I'm going to put my social worker hat on. And I want to go ahead and shed spotlight on Tamekia Swint. Now, before I shed spotlight on her, I want to explain to you guys something called cross-racial adoption. Cross-racial adoption is permanently parenting children who are racially different from the parent. So, for example, it's basically when white people adopt black kids and sometimes when black people adopt white kids. And what happens in those home structures is that the child loses sense of their culture simply because the other race doesn't know about the culture and isn't able to teach them culture. You get what I'm saying? So they could try their best as far as books and reading things and things like that, but ultimately it's like if you're not Haitian trying to teach a Haitian to be Haitian, it doesn't work like that. So what Tamekia Swint went ahead and did, she created a Chicago-based company called Style for Kids, which provides hair care education and services to moms and dads who aren't experienced in working with black hair. This is so important because sometimes what happens when the child is adopted, they lose sense of that. And it also can make the parent and the child feel self-conscious because now the parent is not able to provide the best hair care for the child. And then the child themselves may not feel confident because their hair isn't done. So Tamekia has really opened a door to an amazing conversation and also a barrier that has been going on for years, and she's went ahead and been able to change that into a positive tone and give confidence to that mom and that dad of that child also, and allow them to build a connection because during this time as parents, when they adopt, I'm sure that they already have self-consciousness. They already have a sense of not being good enough just because of whatever reason that brought them to adoption. So now that they're able to bond with the hair care, it opens so many doors. Because think about, even though when you were getting your hair done as a child, it probably sucked. But just think about the moment that you got to bond with your mom, the moment that you got to lay your hand on her lap, or the moment that you were able to talk to her, allow her to braid your hair. Like even as an adult, like sometimes when I go to my mom's house or I wash my hair and have my mom braid my hair down, it just gives you a sense of connection. And I'm really happy that she was able to do that. And I really just wanted to shed spotlight on that because those are the things that kind of get overlooked, and I'm so happy that someone went out there and seen that and provided a solution to it. So that's super awesome. Darling, fetch me my teacup. This week's tea is Sweet Clementine Stress Support tea from Yogi. This tea helps support the body's ability to cope with stress and help promote long-term health. Ingredients include lemon balm, lemongrass, and orange peel. This tea was really sweet and tasted citrusy because of the orange. I didn't put that much honey in it, and I only had one tea bag. This week I was a little stressed just because of everything going on. I feel like this tea was really soothing. It reminds me of the lavender tea that I had too. So it's a good tea before bed or in the middle, in the middle of the day after a stressful work day. This tea is really good for calming your nerves and helping you kind of woo-saw. So definitely on my drink again list.
A marriage can be a source of joy and love and mutual support. But why do we teach girls to aspire to marriage and we don't teach boys the same? Sexist.
You wake up now.
I know everybody has heard that song over and over again and haven't really thought about what it says. So this week, like I stated before, I had a follower send me the request to talk about this topic. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I guess she unsent the messages. So you know who you are, and this episode is for you. And for everyone else, always feel free to send me an episode request or a topic request that you guys want me to talk about. I'm always open to that, as I said in previous episodes. In this poem called We Should All Be Feminist by Nigerian writer Chimamanda Adichie, she says something that really popped out to me. She says, because I am female, I am expected to aspire to marriage. I am expected to make life choices, always keeping in mind that marriage is the most important. Now, marriage can be a source of joy and love and mutual support, but why do we teach girls to aspire to marriage and we don't teach boys the same? This reminds me of just the evolution of women. Now, back in the day, in the 1950s, most women left school and went straight to work until they were married. In the schools, they would teach them grammar, but they would also prepare girls for life lessons, which were given in cooking, household management, sewing, how to iron a shirt properly. Basically, girls were trained to look after their husbands and children and the house. Now, while girls were being taught that, men was considered the head of household. They were taught things like mortgages, legal documents, bank accounts, and only the family allowance was paid directly to the mother by the husband, of course. And should a woman find herself in a violent marriage or in a situation that she wasn't happy, she had no money of her own and no career, so she was often trapped. Now, this is back in the 1950s, and people still think of this way now. For example, when I graduated, everybody was like, okay, now it's time for you to get a boyfriend and, get settled down, get married. And I'm just kind of like, can I not dwell in the accomplishment? Can we not just be like, oh, congrats on graduation? What's the next step? Why does the next step automatically have to be getting a boyfriend and being married and having kids? Why is that automatically the things that people think of? And, we really have to talk to young girls, like your cousins, your sisters, your younger friends, if you have any, to remind them that there's so much more to life than being someone's girlfriend, than being someone's wife, or being the mother of someone's children. Of course, all of those things are great, but you have to take care of you first. For example, especially in today's time, there are so much things that women are doing and can do. Now you have to, before getting in a relationship with a man, you really do have to think about the things that you want, the things that make you happy, things within yourself, because a man should only add to anything that you have. He shouldn't be a codependent in a sense. You shouldn't be looking for a man to take care of you. Like this whole city girls energy, don't get me wrong. I love city girls and I listen to them and I do love their songs and their music and everything. But the goal is not to have a man solely take care of you 100%. If a man does, that's awesome. But the goal is to always have your own, and anything that a man does for you is extra. That is the kind of mindset that we should really be thinking. Now, today, I went ahead and looked up some of the statistics of what women are doing today. And mothers, I want to go ahead and point that out, are primary sole earners of 40% of households with children under 18, which is compared to 11% back in 1960. Women own close to 10 million businesses, accounting to 1.4 trillion in receipts. Like, we are out here doing the thing, and women are more likely to have a bachelor's degree by the age of 29 than men. So as women, the evolution of us has already started, and there is just nothing that can stop us at this point. It's not back in the 1950s and 60s when you need a man for anything. You are really able to hold your own. And during this time of, when you're young, the best thing to do is focus on yourself, focus on your dreams, your accomplishments, focus on school, work, or whatever it is. Even if you have a business, because a lot of young people have businesses now, just focus on anything and everything that is for you to make yourself the best version of you, and everything that is meant to come will come later. And anything that a man or a boy can do for you will be extra. The in the poem where she says, and why don't we teach boys the same? You never hear when a guy graduates, they be like, okay, are you looking for a wife now? Like, are you ready to get married? They don't ask boys those questions. They are constantly pushing boys, or men, I should say, to open businesses, to make sure that their finances are in order, to become the best version of themselves that they can be. And they encourage them to be, thoughts and date and get it all out of their system and do all of these things, but they don't encourage girls to do the same. And that's what happens sometimes when a girl would end up in a relationship that she's not happy, or as she's older, this is the time where she's going out late, or she's doing all of these things that she didn't get a chance to do while she was younger because she was so focused on finding love or being with someone. When I tell you there's so much more to life than that, there is just so much more to life, like going out, dating, traveling, experiencing new people, new things, learning different things about cultures. Like there's so much more to it. And when you have that chance to date, like what they would consider the whole phase, but without the sex, like I do not encourage y'all to go out there and just be doing that, and if you are, please use protection, because even though NBA YoungBoy, everybody's out here doing the thing with him and he got herpes, like that shit is real. And I don't understand it, but that's another episode for another time. But it's, in a sense, it's important for you to go through those phases, to go through that time of being single and dating and just doing you and focusing on yourself and the goals that you have for yourself. Because when somebody does come along that you're ready to settle down with, you will be able to still be yourself prior to getting into that relationship with that person, so you don't have those insecurities and you don't have those second thoughts and all of those things that tend to ruin relationships, and you're not codependent on this man to make you happy or to make you whole or to make you anything, because you are already all of those things prior to being with him. Anything that he adds to that would just be extra, like I keep emphasizing. And a lot of people ask me all the time, like, why are you single? Like, I've only been single for 8 months, and I've been single prior to this, so let me not make it seem like this is the only time I've ever been single in my life. But I am single because I'm just focused on my goals. I'm focused on the things that I want to do for myself. I'm focused on becoming the woman that I want to be for me prior to being in a relationship with someone else. And relationships are expensive. Like, if you've heard previous episodes, you know that I truly enjoy going out by myself. I love going out to eat, to the movies. And when I go out by myself, I probably spend like $30 maximum, $40 if I'm being fancy and I like didn't pregame prior to going. But when you go out with someone else, like that's $60, bro. And like, if that's not even, that's like a basic place. If you go somewhere nice, it's like $100. And then like, I'm still a broke college student, y'all. Like, I'm still working on my master's and stuff. Like, I don't have money to be spending like that. And on top of that, like, a lot of people are thinking, well, okay, the guy would pay. Yeah, the guy can pay, and it's cool for him to pay. But also, at the same time, like, I like to pay too. I don't like to always put everything on the person that I'm dating. I feel like everything should be 50-50 for the most part. Like, you have your money, you have things that you need to take care of just as much as I do. So I never think that it's fair for me to solely be like, if we go out, you have to pay for it. Especially if it's something that I want to do, I never have a problem paying for it because it's my idea. But so yeah, relationships are expensive. And also the emotional connection. Like, you know how you get into like a text conversation or a text argument and you be ready to like quit your job and walk out because this person really got you messed up and you about to pull up on them. Like, I don't have time or energy for that. I do not have the time or the energy for anybody to have me in my feelings, for me to be like sitting here contemplating what they're doing, what they're not doing, blase. It's just that this moment, I only have space, energy, and time for me and the things that I want to do. Now, some people have asked me, I don't know if you have seen it or not, but I'll post a picture about it. But my crown tattoo on my right hand just reminds me constantly that I am the prize and I am everything that I need to be, and nobody can validate that for me or make me into anything. For example, like I said, every time that a woman makes an accomplishment, the next step is always, well, are you going to get married? And then once you get married, the next step is, well, when are you going to have kids? It's so much stress put on as a woman of all of these things that you need to do by a certain age and all of this nonsense. And I just never wanted to feel like I needed a man to validate me. For example, like once you get that ring, it's like, okay, now you are officially a woman. Now you have accomplished the biggest test of time, and you have no, I don't need a man to put a ring on my finger to validate me or make me into anything that I already know that I am. So that's why I have a crown on my right hand, because I'm the prize, I'm the queen prior to anyone or anything, and nothing that anyone or anything does will validate that. Like, that's been done, period. Oh my gosh, I'm so funny. But and like, real talk though, you guys, like, I think it's so important as women, especially in this day and time. It's like, you don't need a man, and anything that a man does is extra. And I keep repeating that, and I keep emphasizing it, because a lot of times women get caught up in that. They get so like depressed or sad, or like nobody would ever love them because they're single. Enjoy being single. Enjoy having to only worry about yourself. Enjoy being selfish. Like, this is the time to experience that. During this time span, like, we're in our 20s, you know, and kids, girls that are younger than that, like, you're a teenager. Like, this is the time to stay out late, to have fun, to just live your life, like have summer romances or whatever. This is not the time to be trying to find a man to settle down, because who you are at 19 is not who you're going to be at 24. Who you are at 16 is not who you're going to be at 18. You're going to constantly be evolving. You're going to constantly be changing. Your wants are going to be different. Your needs are going to be different. Things that make you happy are going to be different. Not 100%, but you are going to continue to grow. And it would be amazing if you find somebody who's willing to grow with you. But sometimes people grow apart. And it's important to learn that sometimes people are in our lives for seasons and reasons. And you have to be able to distinguish the difference between the two and allow yourself to take those lessons and move on with your life, you know, to just appreciate everything that you have and move on, and know that when someone is meant for you, when things are meant to happen, that they will. You won't have to force, you won't have to beg, you won't have to plead. It will just happen. And that's the way that life will work. So I just want you guys to woosah, like, relax, like, live your life, have fun, enjoy being young, and do you, you know, do the whole phase without the whole part. And I just want to leave you guys with this message from Judge Lynn. I feel like every girl should hear this message if you haven't already, but here you go.
You're 20. If I had 20 back, oh, what a mess I'd make. 20 is for you. 20 is for growth. 20 is for the pursuit of a tomorrow that is better than today. 20 is for options. 20 is for passion and knowledge and enjoyment. It is not for continuous compromise. It is not a time to say, this is the guy that I got to make it with because this is the guy that I have, and no matter what compromises, no matter what I don't like, no matter what he does, I have to put up with it because he's my man. 20 is for firing dudes when they don't act right. 20 is for figuring out what you like in certain men. 20 is for finding out what different kind of men are out there and which ones you want to keep and which ones you want to discard. It's not for picking up other people's clothes. It's not for sticking it out when you're not enjoying it anymore. 20 is an opportunity to move onward, upward, forward. Get a large life, so even if a dude doesn't end up in it, you still enjoy it. 20 is for creating all of that potential and not just compromising your way into the corner of a closet somewhere wondering what the heck happened. You don't have any children, you're beautiful, you're working at a gas station, nothing wrong with it. But at your time off, don't be looking to spend time with him. Go look and spend time with some books and your brain to get a new degree so that you can put the gas station in your rearview mirror as you step forward into some other kind of existence that won't include him.
As always, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Real Life with Ty, or you can email me at reallifewithty@gmail.com.
You've got Ty on the line on her podcast. So what's on her